In this particular question, we've been asked to find the curve passing through the origin, which has a slope defined by the equation y prime equals 3 sine x, and we've been also asked to identify the highest points on the graph in the interval between and including negative pi and positive pi. I'm going to start with the second part of the question, identifying the highest points, or the maxima. Well, my maxima occur when my first derivative is equal to 0 or does not exist. We also have to consider endpoints, but we'll talk about that later. So we set y prime equal to 0, and we solve for x, and we realize that x is equal to 0 plus k pi, where k is an element of integers. If you translate that, it means that we create a sequence that's heading off in both directions. It goes 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. It's jumping by increments of pi. And if you go in the other direction, it goes from 0 to negative pi to negative 2 pi, and so on. Now, we have to remember that we've been given a restriction in the domain, that our x values are to be between negative pi and positive pi, including those two values. So when I consider that, there are only three possible values for x. X is equal to negative pi, to 0, and to positive pi. Well, we have to determine which of those critical points are extrema and then be able to distinguish the minima from the maxima. Well, I do that using my second derivative. Y double prime is equal to 3 cosine x. I'm going to substitute in my x value of negative pi, and I find that y double prime is equal to negative 3. Because y double prime is less than 0, I know that a maximum must be occurring at x equals negative pi. Then I substitute x equals 0, another critical point, into my second derivative, and I find that y double prime is equal to 3. Y double prime is greater than 0. Therefore, I know I'm dealing with a minimum. Then I substitute x equals pi, that's the x-coordinate of my other critical point, into my second derivative, and I find that y double prime is equal to negative 3. Therefore, I'm dealing with a maximum. Now, remember that the question is asking me for my highest points. I'm not concerned with minimums. So, the two x values I'm interested in are x equals negative pi and x equals positive pi. Well, I haven't quite finished this part of the question because I only have the x-coordinates for these maxima. I still need to find the corresponding y-coordinates. And now I would really go back and address the first part of the question, finding the curve. So I go back up and I say, well, y prime is equal to 3 sine x. So using antiderivatives, I know that y is going to equal negative 3 cosine x plus c. I still need to find that value of c. I was told that the curve passes through the origin, so it passes through 0, 0. So I can substitute 0 in for y and 0 in for x and solve for c. And when I do so, I find that c is equal to 3. So now I have everything I need for the equation of our original function or curve. Y is equal to negative 3 cosine x plus 3. Now I've addressed the first part of this question. I still have to find the corresponding y-coordinates for my extrema. So when x is equal to negative pi, I can find the corresponding y-coordinate by using that equation I just found, and I find that y is equal to 6. When x is equal to positive pi, I find that my corresponding y value is 6. So my maxima occur at negative pi 6 and at positive pi 6.